This evening, I would like to talk about, I want to deal with the heart chakra. Welcome, Denise. Thank you for joining us. I want to talk about the heart chakra and also reparenting your inner child. Now, there's no way to get through as much information as I would like to this evening because I don't want to belabor the point or make it long. But my goal is to follow up with a blog that will also talk about this subject matter as well. So again, I would like to thank all of you who are listening, and we're going to be talking about reparenting your inner child, dealing with the heart chakra. So I want to kind of give a couple people time to jump on, maybe a minute or two to jump on, because I really, this evening, thank you. I want to really get into starting to help you to heal your heart chakra and start the process of healing your inner child by way of reparenting it. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes and see if some other people jump on. And after a couple minutes, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I hope everyone who is listening right now, welcome, Toby. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get started in about a minute or two. And this evening, we are going to be talking about reparenting your inner child. And we're going to talk about the heart chakra. And as I was saying, this is a very big subject matter. I am going to keep it as basic as possible and follow up with a blog that will go into a little more detail. And so I'm excited about it. It's a subject matter that a lot of people will be able to apply. There's a lot of chaos going on. There's a lot of hurt and pain that a lot of people are holding. And this topic will provide an avenue and opportunity for them to be able to release. So I'm going to give it one more moment to see who else jumps on. And other than that, then I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you're just joining us, we will be discussing reparenting your inner child. And we're going to touch on the heart chakra as well, which is one of the 7 major energy centers. Last week, we did both YouTube Live and Facebook Live. And I was attempting to look at 2 different cameras. So this evening, what we're going to do is just do Facebook Live and see how this goes, and then pull it over to YouTube after that, or do a YouTube Live right after. I would like to welcome Wakil Allah. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, in about 30 more seconds, we're going to get started. This evening, we're going to be talking about reparenting your inner child, and we're going to touch on the heart chakra. So we're going to do a countdown of 30 seconds. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. Ingram, it's always a pleasure having him. Support. Thank you so much. He helps with the technical aspect because I am truly technical lunch. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening and welcome, and thank you so much for joining us, and namaste. My name is Dr. Atiya. I am a metaphysician, and I do energy work and healing. Trinae. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, I want to start out with the heart chakra. The heart chakra, which in Sanskrit is anahata, which means unhurt, unbeaten, or unstruck. The heart chakra is the 4th chakra starting from the bottom up, and it sits directly in the middle of the chest. And what it does, it provides a bridge for the lower chakras and the upper chakras, or energy centers. It helps to connect the spiritual and the material. Now, the reason the heart chakra is so important, particularly when we're talking about healing the inner child, is because this is the energy center that holds the emotions. It holds the issues about relationships, of past hurts and pains. And as a metaphysician or a healer, when I'm helping people, I like to start out with the heart chakra, because once you're able to open up and balance the heart chakra, it makes it easier for you to balance out all other chakras. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, the symbol for the heart chakra is two intersecting triangles which form a 6-pointed star and 12 petals. Now that's very, very significant, but I want to put less stress on that and stick with the very basic. The element, I'm not sure, I think someone's trying to say something. Let's see here. Okay. Hi there, Trinae. I'm frozen. Okay, there we go. It's unfrozen. Let's see. Thank you, Trinae, for joining us. And for those of you who are hearing, this is thank you in sign language. And Trinae, if it's the same one, is hearing impaired. So getting back to the heart chakra, this particular chakra corresponds with the circulatory system, with the lungs. It deals with the thymus gland, which is the gland that helps with the hormonal production, which is in the endocrine system. Now, the element for the heart chakra is air. Now, I want to tie this together because the heart chakra, as I said, is very important when you're talking about emotions. And when you're talking about the emotions, a lot of resentment and pain is held in the heart chakra. And this is also the chakra that deals with forgiveness, with relationships, and with unconditional love. So as we move to work on healing or reparenting our inner child, the heart chakra becomes a very key energy center to work with. Now, I want to get into this and I want you to follow me, but I want you to just take a moment and just take a couple deep breaths. I want you to take breaths and breathe through your nose and exhale through your nose. I want you to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And this is through your nose. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Now I want to get into something. The wounds that you're holding within your heart is attached to energy, and only you can release that energy that may have you blocked in certain aspects of your life. It's important to go into your pain and feel your pain. Because as I said before, once you can feel the pain, it makes it easier to heal it. So go into the pain and find that mirror that will show you now today what you didn't know yesterday or what wasn't clear early on in your life. I want you to walk through the hallways and the corridors, and I want you to see the pain. I want you to see the symbol of the lost power or of that fragile or vulnerable child or inner child. Walk through those corridors Visualize and go back to a time when you were young, a time when you didn't understand what was happening. Welcome, Deja. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for listening. So I want you to go back, and I want you to breathe, and I want you to just observe in a non-judgmental way. And once you identify those things that have caused you hurt and pain, allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel those emotions. And they're valid. Understand that they're very, very valid. Now, what I want you to do is identify and look at, in a non-judgmental way, that child that has been hurt. And I want you to meet that child. I want you to rescue him or her, and I want you to adopt him or her. And reassure your inner child, hello, daughter, thank you for joining me. And I want you to assure the child, that inner child, that he or she is in a safe space, that you won't leave. Now, there's two aspects of you that is very, very key. And one of the things you have to do is allow the adult or the competent adult part of you to deal with the worldly and business affairs. Leave that to the adult competent part. But at the same time, keep in touch with that inner child to ensure that it's safe, cared for, loved, and protected. So as you think back to a time when you were a child, again, observe in a non-judgmental way. Now, you might have heard me talk about shadows, and you may have heard other healers or energy workers talk about the shadow self. Well, shadow work is about rescuing the inner child and integrating him or her into the higher self. Now, there's two things that the inner child is focused on. That is honesty and self-love. So as you begin to reparent your inner child, you have to take your adult self and embrace that wounded or that hurt part of yourself. That part that has created shadows, to be able to deal with the resentment, to be able to deal with and cope with the pain, to be able to deal with those emotions that were not completely understood or that were misperceived. Your adult side is looking at your inner child and embracing him or her and letting him or her know that it's okay, that it's not their fault. And the feelings that you're feeling are very valid. Because the inner child is that part of you that holds the pain and the rejection and the programming that I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I'm ashamed, or I don't measure up, or I can't. Those are all aspects of your shadow or that inner child that has been wounded. And so by embracing your inner child and meeting its needs, you can begin the journey of healing. The inner child seeks a safe space to be heard, to receive love, particularly unconditional love. So what has to happen is you have to start a process of developing trust. Allow your inner child to know that you're in a safe space. You're protected. I love you. You're worthy. You're beautiful. You are deserving. Validate your inner child. Let them know that their feelings are valid. and that whatever happened to them to cause them the pain and the hurt was not their fault. There was absolutely nothing that they could do about it. But as your adult self, as you begin the process of reparenting, welcome, Sister Lakashay, as you begin the process of reparenting your inner child, you're allowing your adult side, the part of you who can see and understand what's happening, to embrace that part of yourself that has been wounded and hurt. Allow the safe space for your wounded child to release the anger, to let them know that all the anger and the resentment that they've been holding, it's okay to release it. It's okay to begin to release and to open up their heart, to begin to heal those emotions that as a child, they didn't know what to do with. So now it's up to you. You have the power. Your adult self has the power now to help your inner child to release that. And one of the most amazing ways to release it is through creativity. And I want to explain that. As human beings, we have two hemispheres of our brain. We have the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. Now, when I talked about going deep within your pain and feeling the emotions and feeling the pain and embracing it, I talked about also finding that mirror so that you can reflect back to your adult self what is needed to give back to your inner child to help heal him or her. But the right brain and the left brain are the two hemispheres that play a part in healing different aspects of yourself. Now, when we talk about the heart chakra, going into the organ of the heart, which is located on the left side of your body, the heart chakra is located in the center. And the heart chakra and the heart organ are both interrelated, because any blockages and issues in the heart chakra impacts the heart and the circulatory system and the lungs and all the other areas of the chest and the back, the upper back. And so when you begin to use the right side of the brain, it's a very key strategy in terms of helping to heal the heart chakra and to release some of the emotional pain and trauma from your childhood. Because the right side of the brain deals with the creative processes, like the doodling, the painting, the dancing, the drawing. All things that are creative expression comes through from the right side of the brain. Now, the right hemisphere of the brain is what actually controls the left side of the body. That's very key. Because when you want to begin that process of healing those deep-seated emotions or releasing them from the heart chakra, you can do that through creativity. So there's three things we're dealing with. We're talking about opening the heart chakra and healing that. I want to grab something, just a second, because I want to briefly, I'm going to shift for a moment because I want to talk about when you have a deficiency in the heart, when there's a deficiency of energy in the heart chakra, what happens is a person can become cold and withdrawn. They can become very critical and judgmental. They may have feelings of isolation or loneliness, or they may become depressed. Let's see, someone else joined us. I just want to make sure. Welcome, Asante. Thank you so much for joining us. But another thing is, if there is a deficiency of energy in the heart chakra, a person may be experiencing fear of intimacy or maybe having relationship issues. They may lack empathy or may even be narcissistic. Now, if a person has an excessive amount of energy in their heart chakra, they may have codependency issues, and they may focus on others more than they focus on themselves. They may not have strong boundaries, or more actually have poor boundaries. They may become very demanding of others. They may be clingy or have jealousy, or even behave as a martyr. They may have martyring tendencies. Now, the emotional issues that are related to an imbalance in the fourth chakra or the heart chakra are mood swings, going back and forth between loving someone and hating someone, experiencing a lot of grief or anger, tending to be self-centered, lonely, having commitment issues, lacking trust, and not being able to forgive. Now, this is important to know because behind every spiritual reality is a physical reality. And in this sense, when a person has an imbalanced heart chakra, and I don't want to get away from reparenting your inner child, because this is all a part of reparenting the inner child, because the heart chakra manifests as a lot of the wounds that the inner child is experiencing. But some of the physical issues that arise from an imbalanced heart chakra is heart disease, is lung cancer, asthma, or bronchial issues, shortness of breath, allergies, breast cancer, issues of the shoulders and chest and upper back, deficiencies in the immune system, and even circulatory issues. Now, these are all issues, physical issues that can come about from imbalances in the heart chakra. And some of the things that make the heart chakra imbalanced is holding on to past trauma and emotions. And a lot of psychosomatic illnesses happen to people when they hold that emotional pain, not only in their heart chakra, but different parts of the body also holds that pain. And so the quickest way and the most effective way to begin the healing process is to start by opening and healing the heart chakra. And you do that by starting to repairing the inner child. So I want to take you back to a process of going back to your childhood. Pick a time in your childhood where you might have been happy. You might have been excited. You can see yourself playing and bouncing around and jumping around. Go back to a space when you felt that way. Experience it. Now what I want you to do is go to the time where you were wounded or where you were hurt. And I want you to observe without judgment. Observe with unconditional love and compassion. Create a safe space for your inner child to be able to embrace those emotions, to feel the pain. Because the only way you can heal it is to feel it. So I want you to go into the pain and again, find that mirror that will show you now, that will show your parent adult self what your inner child needs. And then I want you to begin the process of embracing and holding your inner child and giving him or her exactly what they need. I want you for a moment to separate your adult self with your child self. And look at your child self. Look at your inner child and grab him or her and embrace them. And let them know that it's safe, that they are safe, and they can no longer be harmed or hurt, and that you will never leave them. Reassure your inner child that you're always there for them to give them exactly what it is that they need. There is no longer the need to be afraid. There is no longer the need to hold the pain or the hurt. They can let out the anger. They can let out the resentment. They can cry. They can release the emotions and let them know that I love you, that I'm always here for you, that you're not going anywhere. Walk through those hallways and the corridors and see the pain and the symbol of fear of where you've lost power, and embrace that inner child and let them know that it's okay. Let them know that it's okay. Begin to meet the needs of your inner child. Build trust with your inner child. Validate your inner child. Allow the space for your inner child to be able to release the grief, release the sadness, release the anger, release the pain. Nurture your inner child with everything it needs. And if you have children, the best way to identify with how to heal your inner child is think about how you handle your own child. What about when your own child falls down and maybe scrape its knee? Or what about if something happens to your child that as a parent, you just want to grab a hold and embrace it? That's precisely the same action that you take with your own inner child. The exact same thing. So when you allow yourself, your adult self, to deal with all the worldly business, but then you give your inner child the space to be a child and provide for its needs. So let me give you an example. Some of us, when we were children, we loved to paint, or we had this dream of, I want to be a singer, I want to be a dancer, I want to be a doctor, or whatever it is you had as this dream. But then your parents, who did the best that they could at the time, because they too bring issues from their childhood as well. But perhaps your parents maybe guided you to do something that they felt would be best for you, and kind of, in a sense, forced you to move away from those things that you wanted to do, or from accomplishing your dream in that sense, and maybe gave you something else to do. So now, as you begin to nurture your own inner child, this is an opportunity and a chance now for you to go back to those things that you dreamed about, and now begin to start making them come alive through creativity. If you wanted to be this wonderful dancer, but yet you were guided or geared away from that, now is the time to perhaps maybe start to take a dance class, or maybe start to evolve with the dance group, or just start dancing and expressing yourself through dance. What if you wanted to be an artist or a painter, but you were forced to maybe take up business because it was more of a sure thing to make it in the world? Now is your opportunity, as you work to heal your inner child, to now pull out those paintbrushes, go shopping and buy yourself some paint and begin to paint those wonderful pictures. If you wanted to be a writer, if you wanted to do, maybe if you wanted to be a doctor, and maybe you're not really feeling, I don't think I want to go through the trouble of going to medical school, going this, but maybe you can be another kind of doctor. Maybe you can get into gardening. Maybe you can study metaphysics. So all of those things, when you reflect back, and when your adult self now goes through to embrace your inner child, understand him or her, be clear on what the needs are, and then begin to give your inner child exactly what it's needed. You know, as little girls, we used to paint our fingernails, and I did this. I want you all to look at this. I painted this. And you know, as little children, you might paint one finger, you may put polka dots or whatever on, you may put stripes. But I did this as a symbol of your inner child. you're a little girl, you like to paint your nails. Play in the paints, play in the makeup, play dress up, go out, play, dance in the rain, play in the snow, throw snowballs. All of those things that you did as a child, allow yourself the space for that little child in you to come out and play. And let the adult side of yourself deal with the worldly business. But always have the space for that inner child. If you have questions, I would love to answer your questions. If you want to perhaps talk to me one-on-one, feel free to email me at dratiya@dratiyajones.com, and that's DRATIYA. If there is a question that you have regarding this particular message and you don't necessarily want to ask in the open, but want to contact me directly, please do so. And this brings me back to the soul fidelity. One of the assessment tools that I use to help individuals begin a supportive journey of healing their inner child and dealing with the shadows in their life is through what is called the soul fidelity assessment. And in this assessment, what I do is decipher and decode scientific, mathematical, and historical data with respect to you to help put together a soul map or a soul evolutionary plan that will specifically help you to target certain aspects of your life to remove the blocks. And I invite you to contact me and learn more about soul fidelity. And again, you can contact me at Dr. Atiya at dratiyajones.com. I also, as I said in the beginning, will follow this up because this is such a vast subject, and I want to keep it as basic as possible because I want it to be of the most benefit. And so just to summarize and recap very briefly, we talked about the heart chakra and how important the heart chakra is because that's the chakra that holds unconditional love. It holds the ability to forgive. It holds the emotions and relationship with others. So if you have a blocked heart chakra, it becomes very difficult to release emotions that are pent up from past traumas. And the heart chakra is that particular energy center that serves as a bridge between the lower and the higher chakras, or the material and the physical world. And so as an energy worker, as a metaphysician, one of the first chakras I work with people to put in alignment and balance is the heart chakra. Because once you begin to deal with the issues of the heart chakra, it makes it much easier to help all the other energy centers to get into alignment. And so I want to leave you with a particular, in the beginning, I talked about how the element for the heart chakra is air. That's very significant in that one of the things to also help open up and heal the heart chakra and unblock it is breath work or breathing techniques. And as a Kundalini yoga teacher, in yoga, it's called pranayama. That's what breath work is called. And certain breaths can be practiced. And I want to show you one in particular right now that you, as a takeaway, that can help to relieve anxiety. And this particular breath, you will put your left hand in the center of your chest. And that's the area where your heart chakra is located. And when you place your left hand there, it creates a deep stillness. And then your right hand what you do is what is called a Gyan mudra, or hand movement, which is another technique in yoga. And this is what is called the Gyan mudra. And that's your index finger and your thumb touching the tip, and then the other three fingers facing straight up. So your left hand is placed on your chest with your fingers flat, your palms flat against your chest, and your fingers facing to the right. And then your right hand, you have the index finger and the thumb finger touching, and then the other three fingers straight up. And then what you can do, and this particular, your right hand with your fingers like this, which is called the Gyan mudra again, this is the position of peace. So with your left hand, you're creating deep stillness by placing it on your chest where your heart chakra is. And with your right hand, you have it in the position of peace. And then what you do is you close your eyes. And then what you do is take, now the breathing is inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose, through both nostrils. And what you're going to do is inhale very deeply, and I'm going to demonstrate it. You're going to inhale very deeply and slowly through your nostrils. And then you're going to hold the breath and raise your chest as long as possible. And then you're going to exhale smoothly and gradually and completely. And then once you get the breath completely out, you're going to lock it for as long as possible. And then you're going to do that 3 times. But I always like to add a 4th because I'm partial with the number 4, particularly when you're talking about the heart chakra. So I'm going to do it. You're going to breathe in slowly and deeply. And then you're going to go again. And you're going to go again, in through your nose and out through your nose. I'm going to do it a 4th time. And that particular pranayama or breath helps to release anxiety and helps to put you in a state of calm. So again, you place your left hand on your chest, which creates deep stillness. And then your right hand, which is a position of peace, which is called the Gyan mudra. You're putting your index finger and your thumb, the tips together, and then the other fingers are standing up. And then you're inhaling slowly and deeply through your nose, through both nostrils. You're going to hold and raise your chest as long as you can. And then you're going to exhale smoothly and gradually and completely. And you're going to lock your breath out for as long as possible. And then you're going to repeat that 3 to 4 times. And so whenever you're feeling anxious, that is an excellent Kundalini yoga technique that you can do to help begin to center yourself. And it's also a wonderful breath for beginners to start with that will help them to begin the process of releasing some emotions that from past experiences. So I hope that this has been informative for you, and I trust that this has helped you in some way. And again, if you would like to reach out to me one-on-one, my email address is dratiya@dratiyajones.com. And thank you so very much for joining me and staying with me and listening. And please share the replay of this video with your friends and your family, and reach out to me. And I am going to follow this up with a written blog and possibly an audio message that will get a little deeper into what I'm not able to cover here, because I want to keep it very basic. But when it's in the written form, it allows you to also take a way to study it. And for those of you who are auditory learners, it allows you to not only listen to the message, but sound vibrations is very key as well. And that's another subject. So being able to use various ways to allow the healing to take root. So again, thank you for joining me, and thank you for staying with me, and be sure to share this with others in your life. Namaste. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you, Tahara, Sister Tahara, for joining me. Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Oh, hi. Thank you, Karen. Karen DeWard was my coach when I won Mrs. Illinois International and placed third runner-up worldwide. And Karen is such a wonderful gem and jewel, and has really helped me to transform in so many ways. And I am so and I'm going to start crying. I am so grateful, so very grateful, because sometimes you meet people on your journey in life, and while you appreciate them in that moment, and I appreciate her more, I learned over time, after working with her so closely, I learned over time to even value her more. And she's like a mother figure to me. So anytime she is present when I'm doing anything out in the public, and she's such a great coach and image consultant, I'm doing something in the public, I'm always wanting her to be proud of me. So thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for the vote of encouragement. And Janet, thank you for joining me. Sister Donna Muhammad, thank you for joining me. And again, contact me at Dr. Atiya at dratiyajones.com. And thank you again. Peace, love, and light. Thank you.